and welcome again to another edition of my new YouTube channel. Thanks for all my subscribers, thanks for all the likes, thanks for all the comments. So guys, in today's video, we'll be having a look at Britain's role in the depopulation of the Chagos Island. Because of all that's going on with Trump and with Palestine and the forcible removal of people from their land, I started to do some research because this thing really got to me where I'm in the 21st century and the Caucasian population are still going about and taking away other people's land, pushing them away from their land, and everybody's just so quiet about it. It's just a sad situation. So that led me into doing some research on some of Britain's past, because I'm saying, okay, since in my lifetime I'm seeing America do it, let me go and have a look and see who else is doing these things in my lifetime, like what other countries. And I found I never knew anything about the Chagos Island. I had no idea about the Chagos Island. I've never heard of the Chagos Island. I don't know why I haven't heard of it. Obviously, they're suppressing information because they knew what they did. But if you dig deep enough, there are information out there for everything. So in regards to the depopulating of the Chagos Island, Britain rose in the depopulation of the Chagos Island. It is a significant chapter in colonial history. The Chagos Archipelago, it is located in the Indian Ocean and it was part of the British Indian Ocean Territory, BIOT. And that was created in 1965. 1965. They said the island, it was home to a population of Chagonians. It's an Afro-descendant community. So it's an island that is populated by blacks. Black people living on that island. You understand me? So it's not just Africa alone, black people. It's black people who populate the whole entire world before it's in the state that we are in now. Anyway, it's an island. It was created in the British Overseas Territories was created in 1965. The islands were home to Chagonians, as I'm saying, the Afro-descendant community, and they have been inhabited. They have been inhabited for centuries before the British government forcibly removed them in the 1960s and the 1970s. So in my lifetime, these people are still going to other people's country, pushing them out of their countries to do whatever it is that they want to do with their lands. And when you have migrants come to Britain, the citizens of these countries have issues with it, but they don't know the chaos. They're not aware of the chaos that their government has gone and cause in other overseas territories in other people's island where they have pushed them off their islands. Like people live the normal life and you decide, say, no, you need that island, so you're going to depopulate that island. You see, these people are wicked. So the role of Britain played is that the establishment of the British Indian Ocean Territory in 1965, the UK established the territory. It included the Chagos Island, which was partly to secure a strategic military base. You hear that? They took away the people's island because they think that it's going to be a strategic military base for them, specifically on the island of Diego Garcia. That's where that was the most populated of the island, and that is what they did to the people. It lasted, which it was leased. So the British people take it over and they leased it to the United States in 1966 for the construction of a military facility. So they push these peoples from their home, from off their islands, because they want to lease it to the US for the US to have military facility. Oh God. They forcibly removed the Chagonian population to make way for the US military base. Britain and the US decided to forcibly remove Chagonians people between 1968 and 1973. Around 1,500 Chagonians were relocated to Mauritius and the Seychelles, and often under coercive conditions. So them forced the people them to leave them place. They were given, the people that were driven away, they were given very little compensation, and they had no choice but to leave their home, which they had lived for generations and generations. Imagine, and the same thing Trump want to do to Palestine. You know, here Trump say him want to push off the people of Palestine and make Palestine be you could be the riviera of the Mediterranean. Like, these people are doing these things, and this is what they have always been done. But I don't know why. Well, I know why, because obviously the media, the bigger medias are populated by the rich folks, so they decide what news to go out and what news not to go out. So it's a good thing we have like small private channels such as on YouTube, where people can go and get information instead of just always having to listen to the mainstream media, because the mainstream media, they hide a lot of things from us, and they distract us with some basic stuff that is happening, while the real thing, while they're in the background going on with the real thing, right? Why? Those people, the Chagonians, they were taken from their home under difficult and inhumane circumstances. Here, inhumane circumstances are the same thing that they want to do in Palestine. Many of the people were put on ships and they were taken to unfamiliar territories where they were left to live in poverty. So these people don't want migrants in their own country, but they will go and depopulate an island of people that has been there for generation and generation, and they will force them into other people's country that they don't have a clue about, and then those people are left to live in abject poverty. You have reports that indicate that the Chagonians were told they could return to their island once the military base was completed, but the promise were never fulfilled. So they practically tell them a lie. Say after they did what they did, they're gonna allow the people to go back to their island. But they weren't able to. No. You understand me? Over the years, there have been international legal and moral criticism of the UK's action in depopulating the Chagos Island. It has been widely criticized. The Chagonian people, they were denied the right to return to their homeland, even after the construction of the military base was completed. Legal challenges were brought to the Chagonians community to the British courts in 2000. The High Court ruled that their removal was unlawful. But the British government did not act on the ruling. So you see, these rules and laws that are made up by the Caucasian community is like this only for some people. It's only for some people, because me and you, a judge could not rule a case against me and you, and we just decide to ignore it and carry on. That would have never, ever, ever, ever happen. But these people, even when the law of the land has passed down a judgment, they don't act on it. They just ignore it as if to say, well, you can't tell us what to do. Again, in 2004, the British government issued an order preventing them from returning to their home. Jesus. The first time I read this story, I don't know, and I just felt so sad when I don't know, maybe because the climate of what is going on in America now. When I read this story, I just felt so sad, because I'm saying these things are happening in my lifetime, and I had no idea because they have hidden, they don't tell the general public these things. And all them are complaining about immigration, immigration, immigration. You understand me? Even people who migrated themselves, them are talk about immigration. I can never understand those people. You understand me? I can never ever understand those kind of things. Human right violation and legacy, the forceful removal of the Chagonians, it is viewed by many as violation of the human rights. But the outright violation, how you to go on an island that has been occupied for generation and generation, and you forcefully remove those people in an inhumane condition, and you would still have people who thinks that it's okay. Because it is not like they say, everyone sees it as violation of human right. It says many people sees it as violation of human right. In 2016, the UN Special Rapporteur on the right to food called it ethnic cleansing. Of course, ethnic cleansing. Anywhere you have people of color, that people of black people, you understand me? You have the Caucasian community to society. They can just go in and they can just do whatever it is that they want to do. Even when these people not do them nothing, these people not coming into their way, these people don't have nothing to do with them. These people is like they're a set of warmongers, and I don't know if it's the lack of love they don't have, like that ah. Let me go on and give you some more about these Chagonians, about the situation in Chagonian, right? The Chagonians, they continue to fight for their right and to seek justice for the trauma and hardship that they endured. Post-colonial debates and ongoing struggles with the British government, it has maintained that the depopulation was a necessary step for the strategic interests of the UK and its alliance with the US. So it's only whatever is going to benefit them. That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if you it doesn't matter if you depopulate an entire island and treat the people like worse than animals, and then you're saying you people, you always do things within your best interest, because you people are not able to provide love. When we say love for each and everybody, love, just a genuine love for human being, you people are not able to do it. You understand me? Because you always want to be on the top. You want it to appear as if you are the top. So whatever unaliving or whatever displacement or whatever you have to do to other communities, you people always do it. Look how far the Chagos Islands are, all the way in the middle of the Indian Ocean, in the Indian Ocean. And you people go run off the people, put them off of them island. In recent years, there have been increasing calls for justice and compensation for the Chagonians, as well as for the recognition of their right to return to their islands. Of course, I have seen during the research that I was doing, I have seen clips where they are fighting, they are protesting here in the UK because they have their cases in the courts because they were treated just as how the Windrush population was treated. That's exactly how the Chagonians people have been treated, even though they are British, because Chagonian Island is considered an overseas British territory. The British them go over there and take it over and say they want it to be a part of them. So those people, although them black, they are British. So if you displace them and you have some of these people that come to this country, why would these people then have issue in getting their paperwork sorted? You have some of them ended up in detention center. You have some of them, these people are worried if they're going to be deported, because a lot of people just don't know about the Chagonian people, and a lot of people who works in the Home Office don't know about them, because if they knew about them, they would not be arresting people who are Chagonians and all of those. Can you imagine? You're on your island for generation on top of generation and generation, And these white folks decide, say, all right, they need that piece of land, so you have to just come off and go. I'm just hoping that with all the court case that is going on, that they'll be able to win the right to go back to their country, because these people just feel as if they have the right to just go anywhere in the world. Why they can't just stay within themselves and leave people alone? Leave people of color alone so that they can do what they want to do. Why would you go to an island that's black populated by black people? You throw off all of the people and you displace them. And then you guys come and say you don't want migrants in your country. When you're displacing people, people having to go into other people's countries as migrant, and when it comes on your doorstep, suddenly you have a problem. So migration is the problem. You need to speak to your government and let them know that they need to stop doing these things, because they are the ones that causing the migration problem. Because if they had left all these black people where they are, none of these black people would be in this country now, having to be trouble to you, because you say they are immigrants, and immigrants are causing a lot of problem. When your government go search for the issue, your government won't leave these people alone. Britain's role in the depopulation of the Chagos Island, it was driven by geopolitical interests, especially its relationship with the United States. You understand me? So because of them closeness to the United States now, them decide to depopulate those people so that they can give it to the US as a military base. And people are actually okay with these things. People are actually okay with these things. You understand me? When they went to court, they lied. They lied about what was going on. Boy, I'm telling you guys, these kind of things, we have the internet at our fingertips, and we need to venture out whatever it is, whatever thought pop up in your head, just type it in Google and just do there will be information on it. Because the information is out there. It's just that they have hidden it from us, and you have to go and search for it, because these things have never happened with the colonial era and them going to Africa and taking people from Africa and distributing them all over the world and cause all this chaos. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have all this chaos, and then these people blame other people as that we are the problem. I just don't get it. You understand me? Guys, this is a story that I just found it. We're going through a time where we're seeing a lot of things happening, and we can't just ignore these things because it's not directly impacting us. Because probably that's why the slavery went on so long, because it wasn't impacting a lot of people, and a lot of people did not know about it. But we live in an era now where there's technology, and we need to use these things at our advantage. Anyway, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Peace. So, guys, you see what is taking place in the Chagos Island and what the people are going through up to this day. They're not able to return to their countries. When they are in the UK, they're still having immigration issues, even though they are UK citizens. Some of them are held in detention camps, and Britain go as far as to lie in the court as to why they need the island, and when it was published they hid it, and it was just so many things that they were doing backdoor and not being truthful about the whole situation. And up until now they still haven't reached a point where they have allowed the people to go back. What they have done further is like they have built some sort of marine protection site around the island, and that would cause the people definitely not to be able to go back, because it's like a heritage site where they won't be able to go beyond those borders of the corals that they did, the offshore marine thing that they're doing. So they're doing everything that they can to stop these people from returning to their homes. Imagine living on an island for generations upon generations upon generations, and then a European country come and decide that, okay, you need to go, we're going to displace you, we're going to deal with you in such a inhumane conditions. Even when they were taking over the Falkland Island, it was much different. It was much different when they were doing that, because the people, they weren't treated as if they were slaves. These peoples of the Chagos Island, they were packed into cargo ships on top of all different type of cargo and treated in such an inhumane way. And you don't hear about these things in the news. The media doesn't cover these things. And when you have immigrants come to this country, the people of this country have an issue because they don't know the full story. You understand? They don't know the full story of what has taken place in the Chagos Island, and not just the Chagos Islands, but in many other countries around the world, where these first world nations, they go in and they destabilize those countries. And whenever there are issues now and people come to these countries for a better because of them and what their government has done to everyone, they're having an issue because the government has hidden what they have been doing. So most of the population, they don't have a clue. And look at what the president of the United States is now coming in with. He's saying the US is gonna take over the Gaza Strip. Take over the Gaza Strip and displace more than 2 million people. He's trying to force other countries like Egypt, Jordan, and those surrounding countries. He's trying to force them to take these people. Imagine over 2 million people you want to forcibly remove, because he has mentioned that the US, he will get the army involved if that is necessary. And you're going to take over 2 million people, push them into other country, creating crisis in those countries with migrants. And on the same hand, you're saying that you have too much migrants in your country and you want to get rid of migrants in your country, but you want to put in rules that would force other countries to take in these people that you would want to displace. Because why? You want to build a riviera. You want to build you want the Gaza Strip to be the riviera of the Middle East. Like, all you're thinking about is money. What about these people and their land? You want to just take these people off their land, and the whole world is just so quiet about it. The powers of the world are so quiet about it. It would appear as if they want it, because it's like at the end of the day, it's gonna benefit them in one way, shape, or form. It's gonna benefit their race. So, because I don't understand why this man seems to be so unstoppable, and nothing that he has done has drawn any harm. It has, like, no one is just willing to stand up for what is right. And you can just see the things that are taking place. I'm going to insert a clip of when he's saying he's going to take over the Gaza Strip. Let's listen to what he has to say, and I'll be back.
Responsible for the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. The U.S. will take over the...
So you heard it for yourself. You heard what the president had to say about the situation that's currently going on in the Gaza Strip. So he's thinking that you just need to clear them out, and the U.S. is gonna take it over and do something with it. And I just don't understand, like, the people that are being oppressed, they're just not coming together. They don't understand that it's it's one group at the top and everybody else at the bottom, but a lot of people want to try to assimilate, and they think that their proximity to such group is gonna make them okay. So they always do things against their own interests. Like, it's like they would prefer to burn the house down. Whether it's gonna affect them, yes or no, they don't matter. Let's listen to a longer clip of what Donald Trump has to say when he was being questioned again about what's going on in Gaza.
I'd like to see Egypt take some look. The Gaza thing has not worked. It's never worked. And I feel very differently about Gaza than a lot of people. I think they should get a good, fresh, beautiful piece of land, and we get some people to put up the money to build it and make it nice and make it habitable and enjoyable. And I don't know how they could want to stay. It's a demolition site. It's a pure demolition site. If we could find the right piece of land or numerous pieces of land and build them some really nice places with plenty of money in the area, that's for sure, I think that would be a lot better than going back to Gaza, which has had just decades and decades of death. Well, they could be in Jordan, and they could be in Egypt, and they could be in other places. You could have more than two, more than one, but you could have more than two, and you'd have people living in a place that could be very beautiful and safe and nice. Gaza's been a disaster for decades. Well, I think if they had the opportunity, they'd love it. If they had an alternative to Gaza. They have no alternative right now. I mean, they're there because they have no alternative. What do they have? It is a big pile of rubble right now. I mean, have you seen the pictures of it? Have you been there? It's terrible to live. Who can live like that?
Do you support Israelis actually moving back and creating settlements?
Not necessarily, no. I just support cleaning it up and doing something with it, but it's failed for many decades. And somebody will be sitting here in 10 years or 20 years from now, and they'll be going through the same stuff, the wars. And you know, they've had civilizations on Gaza, many civilizations on Gaza, and they're buried in the sand.
Secretary
It
Rubio.
doesn't seem to work.
So, guys, you heard what the president has to say in regards to what his plans are in the Gaza Strip. I'm gonna insert some comments. Some people are with it, some people are against it. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. You can pause the video and read the comment, guys. Peace.
Way of bringing phase 2 about. I mean, he doesn't have the skills. I don't think he has the inclination to want to bring phase 2 about. So he can't keep getting the credit. So if he can't keep getting the credit, what does he do? What he does is he changes the narrative, and he changes the narrative to put out this ethnic cleansing proposal. And then when you get all this criticism of it, blame Hamas. Blame Hamas, and then unleash Israel, which is pretty much what Trump had wanted to do last autumn anyway. I mean, he told Netanyahu last autumn during the U.S. campaign, Bibi, do what you have to do. Trump is now back at that point anyway, but he has got added incentive, which is if there's not going to be a phase 2, I don't want to take the blame. So I'll repackage myself not as the peacemaker, but as the supporter of